What is up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome. It's been a while since we've done one of these, especially outside REI Genius Live. But first off, I just want to say welcome, everyone. We're gonna be looking to do a little bit more of these. I don't know if Tuesday night is going to end up being the best night to kind of walk through, but one of my goals is to really start this quarter, the second quarter. We just ended quarter one. Q1 is over with now we're into April. And one of the things that I kind of always do a survey or assessment to kind of see how things are going. And so one of the things that we have been really working on with a lot of I won't say a lot of my clients, but more than the a normal amount of clients have been interested in opportunities and ways to scale their business. And so that's one of the things that we're going to be focusing on, that I'm going to be sharing um, with you all, because I think a lot of other people could definitely benefit from this. And we would just want to kind of make sure that everybody's kind of thinking, because I'll tell you, the rules to the game have changed, whether you know it or not. Inflation is unordinarily high. Have you guys been to the store lately and looked at like what it costs for bread, eggs, just normal stuff? Like you go to go get a Happy Meal. Heck, a Happy Meal is like $6. A kids meal at Chick-fil-A is $7. And oh, somebody said I'm going in and out. Let me know if that's a little bit better. One of the things that I realize is that like the prices aren't going down. Prices of food aren't going down. The price of housing isn't going down. And it behooves us to change our approach when it comes how we view money, how we view our time, how we view a career, how we view retirement. It's all those things we need to really take an assessment on, because everything is going to be continue to change and evolve. And the more that you're able to keep money in your pocket, the better off you're going to be long term. And before I dive into my slides and kind of go through, and we're talking about the 7 strategies on how you can earn more money, go ahead, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, hit the share on the video, because we're going to dive in tonight. And I think if you know anybody that can use more income, then definitely share this with them and send it to them. But it was an article from CNN today that I was going to take a brief look at, but it really just kind of laid out the status of America, kind of where we are right now from a retirement perspective. And it put into context where things are and where people think things are. Because right now, half of Americans can't afford $1,000 expense to come in. And so that's a scary place to be. Because I can tell you, I just got a car at the shop, and it was well over $1,000. And so that's the thing that we got to realize is, what changes do we need to make, and where do we need to be going in regards to do that. And so that'd be something I'll share with you guys with the CNN article. But it just talked about retirement. They're actually talking about, should we push Social Security in the retirement age out past 65, saying that people need to work longer. It's like, hold on, we're going the wrong direction. Everybody I talk to, nobody's looking to want to work longer. I'll say a few people that if you really love what you're doing, that it's okay if you work longer. But if you have a job that's causing you stress and it's causing you anxiety, it's taking you away from your family, I don't know that people really want to work in those positions until they're 70, 75 years old. And so that's the thing that we got to realize is, like, a lot of people, they tap into their 401ks to cover job outages. There was one young lady, they talked about her. She's a single mother. The dad was around. She didn't have uh, maternity leave at her position, so she lost her job after she had her child. And so in between jobs, guess what? She had to tap into her 401k. So she ended up going back to work, and she had like less than $10,000 left in her 401k. And it's like, how do you retire? Even they had another example with a lady that had a little bit over 300,000, and she was saying that she was uncomfortable because she knew it wasn't going to be enough to last her well into her 80s. And so that's the thing that we got to realize. Like, the rules of the game have changed. Like, there's not too many places you can go right now and get a pension. Anybody does definitely drop a fire emoji or something in the chat if you know somebody's got a pension. I know we got a couple military people around. I know we got a couple former officers as well too. But like, those pensions back in the day, those opportunities are gone. And even some of the blue collar jobs that offer pensions, like, we see some of them going bankrupt. It was I forgot what the trucking company was in Chicago last year, but they went bankrupt, and it was a guy. I think he ended up having a mass shooter event where he had over 30 years. Was it yellow? Was it, I think it was the yellow trucking company, and all his pension was gone overnight. They chose to go bankrupt, and they didn't have to honor their pensions anymore. So the thing is that you got to figure out how can you become more savvy, how can you become more in control of your retirement, because putting money away in the 401k and putting it in the market isn't the answer, because you have zero control on what they're going to do with your money. And so we're going to talk about some strategies tonight on how you can grow your income. One of the Facebook users said we have to teach people how to leverage financial tools outside of those offered by regular jobs. 100%. Yeah. If everybody starts retiring at 62, there's not going to be enough money left in Social Security. And so that's the thing, how our parents, at least for my age, my parents, that they could depend on that. I don't know if we're going to be able to depend on that. So we need to move different. We need to change how we approach it, because the rules of retirement have changed. Because in the past, you could count on a pension, Social Security, and then 401k. You kind of had a triad approach. But now pensions are gone, and when you start looking at, 401ks that your employer match to a certain extent, but it maybe Social Security be there or not. So you have to augment that and be ready to go with the alternative solution, because guess what? Nobody cares about your well-being more than you. So we're gonna walk through this tonight. Save some time for questions as we go through. But this focus is really on how you can boost your income. And we're going to talk about why entrepreneurship, the roadmap to financial freedom. What does that actually look like? And then just going through some strategies, 1 through 7. We're looking at identifying your passion, solving a problem, building your brand, how to leverage technology, network effectively. That's one that I really, really preach with my mentoring clients, because your network is your net worth. And everything that you want that you don't have right now in your life, there's somebody that you don't know right now that has it. I'm gonna say that again. Everything that you need right now in your business, your life, whatever it is, there's somebody that you don't know that has it. And so it behooves us to get out there and network and meet people. And it's funny how, as we grow, we're young, they say, hey, don't talk to strangers. And whether it's a lot of people that don't speak to other people, and it's somebody, whatever you want, that is somebody that you don't know that has it. And so that's one of the things that we love about networking and building community and everything that we do with REI Genius. And I was talking with somebody the other day about REI Genius. Like, so the brand and everything that we go to, everybody thinks it's just real estate, but the R is real estate, the E is entrepreneurship, and the I is investment. REI Genius. So it's really helping people tap into their genius when it comes into real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and investing in general, because those are the 3 things that are going to help you build wealth in life, wherever you are right now, being able to leverage those assets, those vehicles in order to do it. So moving in. So for those who don't know me, Johnny Lynum, when people say like a certain thing really defines you, or how, your job defines you, like I'm kind of the antithesis to that, because I do a lot. And it's a blessing. And I would start off that, husband, father, lieutenant colonel, real estate investor, multifamily investor, single family real estate investor. Some would say a motivational speaker, mentor, and author, and just all those things that is all kind of lumped into one. So I don't like people to kind of pin me into a certain thing. I'm an entrepreneur at the same time with all of this. And, and that's the thing, that I bring all the pieces of all those things with everything that I do, that you really can't just have one without the other, because the experiences that you have in life and all the situations that you go, previous jobs you operate in, jobs that you do on the weekend, the volunteering, the coaching that you do for your kids' sports teams, or whatever it may be, all that rolls into the individual that you are. We all are complex beings, and we're multifaceted, multidisciplined, and it all lends into who we are and how we show up. And that's one of the things that, when it comes to like coaching and mentoring, is to get the best out of you. Like, a coach doesn't bring the talent to LeBron James. LeBron James brings the talent to the coach, and the coach perfects that talent that already exists there. And it's the same thing with mentorship and coaching people that's looking to become entrepreneurs, that's coaching, real estate investing. You have the talent inside of you. It's the job of the coach and the mentor to now help you evolve and take it to the next level. That skill set that you already have, being able to tap into it, leverage it, and help you become successful with the individual that you already are. So what goals, objectives have brought you here today? Like we start talking about money, people get iffy, they get shaky, they don't know, talk about it's kind of taboo to talk about money with people. And that's one of the things, like for me, that was a limited belief that I had about money and investment opportunities. And, thinking about that you're asking people money when actually you're providing people an opportunity to invest in a property or a business or whatever it may be. So, for those that's in the chat right now, drop in your top goal. What's your number one goal for 2024? I want to kind of see where people are right now, what they're thinking. What's the number one goal if you're a small business owner? Share like, hey, what's your top objective, your top goal for your business? Because we're gonna be chopping it up. We're talking about entrepreneurs. We're talking about strategies to boost income, and I'm a true believer that everybody should have a side hustle. Everybody should have a business that they're growing, because whatever you're doing on a daily basis in your day job, your W-2 job, there is a way for you to translate that into you being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, leveraging this little device right here that right now, this has more processing power than a computer 5 years ago. Memory, all that you have right here, you can run a business from a cell phone. And there's people that run $1 million businesses just for only using a cell phone. All right, so let's see here in the chat. I'm not seeing the comments. Okay, 10 doors purchase generating passive income. That's an awesome goal. No, I love that. I love that. That's a great goal. But definitely, as people come in, my first apartment building. Okay, we got some multifamily investors in the house tonight. I'm looking into a laundromat business. Okay, I like that laundromat business. Like, hey, that's lucrative. It's passive. You don't have to be hands on with that. Okay, those are some great opportunities. You would never be rich working for someone else. Real wealth comes when you bet on yourself and hustle for your own dreams. So that's my dad there in the picture. And that's one of the things that, looking back, it didn't hit me after I got involved with the Air Force and was going on all in. And it came to me after I had my first child in 2013. It was like, you know what? Dad said, if you're gonna be rich, you can't do it working for somebody else. You have to be a business owner. And he was an entrepreneur, and worked on his business. Didn't have employees, and I saw the ups and downs that he had with the business, and the time that it pulled him away from the family to have to work the business. And so, being able to see the hard work, my mom was no different, working two jobs, and just seeing the sacrifices. Like, okay, how do we do things different? And how do I build on the success that he found and take it to the next level? If you're looking to take the next level from where your parents, for those that raised you, for those that came before you, to the next level, put next level in the chat, because that's the big thing that we got to realize is, one, we don't have as much time left on this earth as we think we do. And then two, like, there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifices to help you get to where you are right now. And you don't have time to squander it, and I'll say BS your way around without taking action. And so that's one of the things that we want to do. My father said something similar. So one of the users on LinkedIn, somebody said next level, that we're going to the next level. The money will always be there. It just depends on whether or not you find it. The money is there. Like, when I tell you that, if you think there's not a lot of money out here, like, you don't have a money problem, a resource problem. You have a resourcefulness problem. You have to learn how to become resourceful. Being an investor, being a business owner, you have to be resourceful, or you would go out of business, guaranteed. And so that's the thing, that you just have to start thinking about it differently. And once you have that mind shift and you start showing up in the world and looking and starting to think about opportunities and looking at problems as opportunities and not challenges, it's going to change your life. Entrepreneurs versus employers, that it's a scale. And so you'll hear entrepreneurs say they'll work 80 hours working on their business, so they don't have to go work 40 hours for somebody else. And so that's the thing that you got to realize, that it's a sacrifice for entrepreneurship, but life is a sacrifice without you going through and having to do anything in particular. And so that's the thing that you got to look at, that scale, that working for yourself, building your dreams, And I'm not saying that you need to go out and quit your job and become a 100% full-time entrepreneur tomorrow, but you can start gracefully doing it. I'll tell you, we started our official Lynum Enterprises LLC in 2015, and we're still technically full time. And it's part time. Even though I'm full time active duty Air Force, I'm about 16 months out from hitting 20 years and being eligible for retirement, Lord willing. And so there's no reason that you have to stop your job and you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have a side hustle. You can't start part time building your business where it's low risk, where you don't have to worry about if you don't get this project sales on time, that you're not going to be able to feed your family. And so you can ease into this and understand what that looks like. And so that's why I have a lot of people that they shy away from it. It's like, if you have a full-time job, you have a skill set, you can build it part-time, becoming a consultant. Especially, if you have a set skill set that it scales very well. And so here are some of the comparisons that you can make, and you can see here. We won't go through all of them. And if you guys shoot me your email address, I'll send you the slides, and you can kind of go through the slides and have these. But one of the things that it all comes down to is your ability to decide and make a commitment that you're going to take action and that you're going to move forward with everything that you need to do in order to be successful. And so I think one of the things here is everything comes with advantages and disadvantages. You decide which path you want to go. That you have to choose. Is it an advantage or is it going to be a disadvantage? And understand, just before you get into it, and I tell real estate investors all the time, it's like, hey, you're going to have to put in the work. Understand before you come in that you're going to have to put it in the work. If you want to achieve passive income, there's going to have to be an active component on the front end in order for you to be successful. And so being able to understand that you're going to have to work for yourself, you're going to build your dreams, you're going to scale your income, you're going to be independent, you're going to work to live your dreams. You got to pay the cost today to be the boss tomorrow. And to pay the cost today, where it allows you in the future, you can pay any cost. If you do the work for the next 10 years, guess what? You can live the next 20, 30 years however you want to. But there's going to be a sacrifice up front in order to reap those benefits long term. Why entrepreneurship? So a lot of times you'll see some of those things that was on the last slide. People talk about freedom, time freedom. They want a vacation. For me, it's like, I want to be able to spend time with my family. I don't want to have to go and trade 40, 50 hours, the stress, the travel, being away from them, and not being able to control my time, because I know the Lord put me down here not to sit in a cubicle 40, 50 hours to go sit in meetings about the other meeting that we're going to have next week in another meeting. And we literally have meetings about meetings. And it's like, there's more to life to this. I'm like, it's a beautiful day outside. I could be exercising. I could be doing this. I could be working, building my business. I could be helping other people build their business and change their lives. And so there's a lot that you can do. So you just got to choose and be honest with yourself. Why are you choosing entrepreneurship, and understanding why you're getting started? Because if you don't understand why you're doing it, I'll tell you that once the adversity shows up, once the life starts happening, and once everything starts kind of going the way that you don't want it to go, or when the unexpected happens, that it's going to be hard for you to stay locked in. And so I think one of the things that you have to realize is, why are you doing it? And if your why is big enough, then you will persevere. You will figure it out as you go through those tough times. And so I think that's one of the big things that I want you guys to take away is, if you're an entrepreneur, if it's not going as you plan, understand that's normal. You're not a unicorn. You're not that special, that your business struggles that you're having with being a business owner, that's okay. That's part of the process. That's part of the journey. And then for a lot of people, you didn't never receive training on how to be a successful entrepreneur. You don't have a mentor that shows you how to be a successful business owner or an entrepreneur. So you really can't beat yourself up that bad, because a lot of times, even myself, that, starting off, I didn't have a mentor for the first 5, 6, 7 years of my journey with running my business. And so you kind of do the best that you can. I used the skill set for managing projects for the military and translate it to running my own business. But there were still things that I didn't know about real estate specifically that I learned the hard way. And so that's the thing that if I can tell you, give you any piece of advice is it's not how, but who. It's not how, but who. Everybody drop who in the chat. Drop a who in the chat. Because when you think about it, it's not about how you can get there. It's about who has already got there that can help you get there a lot faster. And who is the cheat code to finding success in anything that you're doing. Because guess what? There's somebody that has 20, 30 years that's made the mistakes that can help you get there a whole heck of a lot faster. Because guess what? We don't have enough time to make any mistakes. I'll say that again. We don't have enough time to make mistakes. If you think about it, why do you want to go through mistakes and setbacks and lose a lot of money, lose a lot of time? And we already said that, hey, we probably started late. We should have did this. I know I should have probably started investing 10 years early, 20 years early, but I didn't know. So a lot of times we do the best that we can, but now that we know better, we got to take action. And so we got to understand, why are we doing this? What's our why? And when it gets tough, we need to lean in on that why. And hey, and like we say, we got to man up and know that, hey, you have everything already in you in order to be successful. Be your own boss. People want to call the shots. They think that, hey, that they don't have to answer to anybody, that there's no higher ups. You're at the top of the food chain. And I would argue that in order to be a leader and to be your own boss, that you got to be a great follower up front. Because guess what? If you're going to be a business owner, that you got to have employees. And guess what? In order for you to be a great boss and a great leader, you got to be a great follower. And I would tell you that there's no heavier burden than being able to have somebody else's livelihood leaning and dependent on you being successful at running your business, when you have to make payroll every 2 weeks and you having to budget for the business where you can do projections for the quarter, and understanding how the market is changing, how the market is shifting, and what do you need to do from a product or service, and how you need to evolve your business going forward. And so I think that's one of the misnomers that's out there. Sky's the limit with income. Forget the salary caps. Then I think a lot of times you get the freedom that comes with it, but also one of the big benefits of entrepreneurship is that your income is not capped. I made a post the other day, and make sure you guys share this with anybody that you know that's an entrepreneur, that's their own business owner, they're self-employed. They need to be here, because we're talking about the benefits, and we're going to talk about some strategies, the 7 strategies on how to level up. But one of the benefits of entrepreneurship is you have unlimited ability to tap into income. I made a post about income. Would you want to increase your income 50% or reduce your expenses? And so, like, you think about it, if we focus too much on cutting expenses and not growing income, we're doing it backwards. Because if you're making $10,000 a month in your business, there's plenty of businesses out here that's making $100,000 a month, making $1 million a month. So how can you figure out how to increase your income where there's no limit, versus you cutting your $4,000 expenses down to $3,000 expenses? Does that make sense? There's a higher return on you being able to increase your income versus trying to just squeeze every penny out of reducing your expenses. And so, looking in at entrepreneurship, that your earnings are tied to your hustle. The more that you work on your business, the more that you work on your business smartly, you're rewarded with the increased income. Finding your passion. A lot of times, I'll tell you, we say this cliche about finding your passion, and finding what you love doing. But a lot of times, you won't find your passion until you get out here. Until you get out here, you find those things that you like doing and what you don't like doing. If I came out here and said that I knew growing up I was going to always be a real estate investor, coming out of college, that I was going to be, I was going to be telling people about how I ran my businesses and how I created my business and motivating people to do the same thing, I would be lying, because I didn't know it was my passion until I got involved into it. I tried some other different things. I joined a couple of MLM things back in the mid 2000s, right after I had joined the Air Force, looking for different side hustles, until I found real estate and really dove into it, and realized that I really liked it and had a passion for it. But a lot of times, I'll tell you that you're going to have to work, and you may even have to create a business doing some things that you don't like doing. But guess what? You're really, really good at it, and people will pay you a lot of money to do it because you have that skill set. And so that's okay too. That you may not know what your passion is, you may not find your passion right now, but keep getting out there, understanding the jobs that you're doing and how they can impact the skill set and grow your skill set to be successful. So understanding that it allows you to tap into your skills, whether it's a passion or not. That as you get older and older, you'll figure out what it is that you like doing, or ask ask your friends what they think you're good at. Like the people around you, they see the talent in you, whether you can see it from yourself. Ask a coworker, like, hey, what do you, when you think about me, what's the one word that comes to mind? And that's people. And people that's in your circle, they should be honest with you and give you that feedback. Work-life balance. Say goodbye to the 9 to 5 grind. You can call the shots when and where you work. Want to take a midday real estate event? Go for it. And I think you have, that's the thing, you have that ultimate flexibility with your schedule. But at the same time, you have to know when you gotta work a little bit harder. You may have to put the time in, the hours in. Just like now, I worked all day today, and it's 8 o'clock at night, and I'm online working the business, helping educate other entrepreneurs, and working on the business at 8 o'clock. And guess what? I'll be doing this again tomorrow night with REI Genius Live. That we're we talking about the Alabama real estate market, and we're talking about my actually we're talking about a little bit about tonight. But next week we have my entrepreneurial boot camp for those that don't have hadn't signed up yet. All next week, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be diving in to entrepreneurship mastery and those skill sets that you need to be successful as an entrepreneur. I probably should have said a little bit more about that earlier, but really it's going to be building off of this, because that's one of the things that I've been seeing with so many entrepreneurs. People, they have questions, they don't know where they can go to get the answers to their questions, but really understanding why we're diving into entrepreneurship and then ways that you guys can scale up your business. And I tell you, we talked about the reason why everyone needs to be looking at how they can increase their income. Go ask your supervisor, hey, how can I get a raise? What can I do? How can I increase the bottom line for the company? And understand what it is that you can control right now with your activities in order to drive success in your personal life. Always learning, always growing. It's like a crash course in life. We're constantly. You need to be reading books. Like if you're not growing and you're not feeding yourself, then you're regressing. And the last thing you need to be doing right now in this economy is regressing. We all need to be expanding everything that we're doing, expanding our mindset, our professional development, growing in different skill sets that's going to help increase the income, like watching things like this, trainings like this. But also at the same time, looking for opportunities where is that you can grow your network. Like I talk about, your network is your network. And I don't know how many times I can foot stump that like it is super important for you to get out of your comfort zone, get out talking with other people. I did it. I attended a entrepreneur event I think it was last Tuesday, a week from tonight, and it was so inspiring to see like all these young professionals that, all the questions they were asking about entrepreneurs. It was a multifamily real estate investor that was presenting, and then after him there was a venture capitalist analyst that was there, and he was just talking about the process that business owners go through with raising angel investors and raising capital to go public for certain companies with tech startups. And so it's like the questions and seeing the hunger and how to get started. The questions they were asking, I remember where I was at when I was that age with start, and it's a big need, and so that's why we're doing. But you always got to be learning. You always got to be growing on this journey. And then at the same time, as an entrepreneur, you get an opportunity to make a difference and make an impact in your community. Some of the conversations, just meeting people online, people that I would have never met from any other capacity. If I was just in my bubble doing my military gig, coming up, go to work, come home, go to the sports practices, and that's it. Not online, not sharing the journey, the impacts that I've had in my business, but then also the impacts in other people's lives, and being able to share, network with other individuals, then I probably wouldn't have met anybody that's watching right now if I hadn't have started that process. But that's what it's all about: building community, finding more like-minded people, and being able to have a positive impact on others. And then guess what? At the end of the day, entrepreneurship is not just another job or business. It's a lifestyle. It's your freedom, your passion, and your impact. And I'm a living, breathing testimony for that. That I could sit here and talk about real estate and talk about business all day, every day, because it's so ingrained into me. It's something that I do on a daily basis, and it provides that impact for so many people, which makes it that much more rewarding. So, what's the problem with entrepreneurship? Do you have what it takes? Everybody wants the fast cars, the mansions, the trips, the yachts, the whatever else that comes with it, the private jets. But there's a reason why only 1% really achieve at that highest level. And not to say that that's not why I do it. And success is way below any of those things. That I would argue that success isn't going to be found in those materialistic things. It's not going to be found in your bank account. It's going to be found inside and inside you. And you decide right now whether or not you're going to be successful. That achieving those goals, because the thing is with it is like once you get to that point, you achieve those things. That's like, okay, is this it? This is what it feels like to close your first multifamily deals. Like, okay, that's it. It's like, okay, this is what it's like, to close on a 100-unit building. And it's like, okay, if you're going to be always chasing that ghost. And so that's one of the things that I encourage you is like, why are you really doing this? Hopefully it's not for materialistic stuff, because I'll tell you, you're going to still feel empty. You're going to still feel that void when you get to the other side, if you're pushing and driving just for that. But if you're showing up and, hey, I want to do my best every day that I get up. I want to be able to spend the time with my family, because guess what? To get financial freedom, it doesn't take a whole lot of money. It does not take a whole lot of money. People can be financially free with 3, 4, $5,000 a month passive income coming in. That it doesn't take a lot. You don't need a Ferrari, a private jet, multiple mansions, and travel the world jet set. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. But you can become financially free and live comfortable without having to achieve all that. And so you have to understand where do you want to go, where do you want to go with your entrepreneurship. Because I'll tell you, I don't want to be $1 billion business owner. I don't want those problems. I see a lot of the senior leaders and what the grind looks like, and the schedules, and the work hours and the commitments. Like, I can do without that. So you got to understand what it is that you want, and what does financial independence look like for you. So, the 3-step roadmap to financial freedom. Number one, realization. If you're taking notes, take notes, take a screenshot, do whatever it is. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the share, but because we're about to dive into it now. So, number one, step one is realization. Be clear. What does financial freedom mean to you personally? What would you do differently if you were financially free? A lot of times I tell my clients that, hey, what is your passive? We talk about what's your passive income goal? Why are you invested in multifamily, and where do you want to be? You guys share kind of what does financial freedom mean to you? I want to see some of the comments that we get in the chat. So I'll tell you, for me, financial freedom for me means being able to have my time, whereas that I can travel with my family and go for as long as I want to with them, and not having to check in and be dependent on someone else approving it. And that's one of the big things, the pet peeves for me that I hate. That like when I travel, I have to go ask for permission, and they can't say no. Very rarely do they ever say no, but still, you have to go ask another person whether or not you can go and travel and go on vacation or do whatever it is that you want to do. But share in the chat right now. What does financial freedom mean to you? Because I think that's one of the things that so many times we don't take the time to write down our goals. We don't get the time to write down what it is that we want to do. If you're not, I challenge each and every one of you. One of the habits that I built is I always before we get into that, the saying is, you plan today. I'm sorry, you plan tomorrow today. Whereas that you sit down on Sundays, you write down everything that you want to accomplish in this upcoming week. And now you're going through the week on purpose. You're not reactive, but now you're being proactive because you have everything identified. You have wrote down what success looks like for you this week. And now you can measure your tasks that you're doing. And hey, is the task, everything that I'm doing, is watching 4 hours of Netflix aligning with me accomplishing my goals that I set on Sunday? Is me coming in watching sports all day? Maybe it is like, hey, if I get everything done by Wednesday, it's like, okay, I can do whatever I want to on Thursday or Friday, or maybe we can go watch a movie. But you need to understand, what does financial freedom look like to you personally? And be clear, Visualization, be ready. What steps are you willing to take to get there? Are you willing to invest the time, energy, resources into building your path to financial freedom? I think this is one of the things with visualizing it that Tony Robbins says that success is 80% psychological and 20% skill set. Success is 80% psychological, 20% skill set. Like you gotta start with the end in mind. You gotta start with the right here. Because if you think about it, everything that has ever been invented, creation, the cell phones that you got, all that started as an idea that somebody thought in their head, and then they eventually went and made it. And if you really think about it in nature, you think about it. God gives us ideas. That's how He operates. Like you think that conscious, you say up your conscious, but it's really for me. It's the Lord speaks to me that it's like, hey, maybe you should do this. Because you think about it, God didn't give us tables; He gives us trees, and He gives us the mind to be able to go and see the vision of, hey, I can take this wood and create a table out of it. And you think about it. And now it's like as you think about different opportunities, like anything that you create, like the book that I wrote a couple years ago, Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategies, what they forgot to teach you in school. Like this was all in my head. Like this is the story of pretty much my adult life and how I got to be where I am today. But it all started from here, and then I had to put the words in paper and bring it to life. And it's no different that you got to start with where think about where you want to be, and now figure out what actions does it take in order for you to get accomplished to accomplish those things. And now those actions is step three with the actualization. Are you ready to embrace the change and challenge yourself along the way? Because the thing is, like every marathon, it starts with the first step that you have to move out. You have to take action. It won't happen by itself. That you can't just sit there and think and manifest it and it's going to come to fruition. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I wish it would. If that was the case, we all would be rich. We would all be walking around with six packs if we could just think and be in shape and think and be rich. But if you're willing to take the action to align with your desires and your mindset and your goals, and if you don't quit, I guarantee you will be successful. I guarantee that you will hit the mark if you don't quit once you start going. But the biggest thing is taking that first step, is taking action and making that decision to become committed to what you want to achieve as an entrepreneur, what you want to achieve as a real estate investor, and moving out on it. So strategy one, identifying your passion. So really, and I kind of talked about the passion thing. Like you may not start in your passion, but I would say also one way, what are you good at? Whether you like to do it or not, if you're good at it, sometimes you got to do things that you don't like doing in order to get paid. Most people hate their job. Most people don't like their jobs that they're doing. But guess what? They go because they're gonna get paid. So you may have to start a business that you don't necessarily like, which is okay. Because guess what? Maybe you get started, you get it going. Maybe you hire people that can come in and replace you, and you don't have to spend all your time doing it, but you can manage it because guess what? You're good at it. So think about what activities, what hobbies that you love doing. A lot of people say, "Hey, what would you do if you could do it for free?" And you would do it for free and not even worry about paying. And a lot of times, what are some hobbies that you do? Like a lot of people monetize their hobbies, whether it's baking cakes, baking pies, or whatever it is, thinking through that you would be surprised on there's somebody that if you're good with it, whatever you do, and you're providing value and it's a need, that the money will come to you. You don't have to chase the money will find you. What task do you find yourself naturally excelling at? Think about it. What are you good at? Are you good at proofreading, or are you good at giving presentations, public speaking? Maybe people always come to you for recommendations, for encouraging word, or maybe you're great at math or engineering, coding, software development. Like there's so much stuff out here that you can do, but just think through, hey, what are you naturally good at and excelling at? Do you like working with kids? Do you like working with older people, or maybe retirees or veterans or whatever? Think through. Like these are some just questions we won't go through and dive into it, but these are some things that really jog your memory and your thought process to kind of go through and see, hey, is this something that I can start going and create a business around? That I can create a business plan, bring marketing to. I can start advertising myself. I can get a contractor to for consulting, or whatever it looks like that you can start moving out. Think through those things. If money were no object, what would you spend your time doing? That's a good one because you don't want to do it for money. The money will find you, but hey, what do you love doing? Because a lot of times you can just start doing it. It's going to be therapeutic anyway. You like doing it, and then if you can monetize, it's a win-win. How can you incorporate your passions into a potential business? So that's the end goal. Really thinking through this is how do I take this to the next level and monetize it, and do that. Now and then, what problems or needs exist in the world that align with your passion? Oh, I love this one. For me, my business model, I created a business buying rundown houses, dilapidated houses, houses that need renovating, houses that needed new carpet or flooring, that needed new paint, that needed new appliances, that needed new cabinets, that needed new roofs, that needed new HVAC systems in them. And I built a business around it, finding these distressed assets, advertising to people who own them, and then presented an offer that created a win-win for them. It helped them out of the situation. I got the property, I did the renovations, I increased the value. Now I can keep it as a rental property, or I can sell it, take the money, and then invest it back in the business and keep growing. But you just got to figure out what problems or needs are out there and figure out how you can solve those problems with your skill set. Strategy two, solving a problem. What does that look like? I'll tell you, there are plenty of problems and challenges out here. So you just need to sit back and just figure out which one do you think you'll be good at solving. Whether it's a restaurant, people got to eat. Now it's just a matter of, hey, how do you advertise? How do you market? What type of food are you going to serve? Who's in the community around the location that you're buying? How do you market to them? Are you going to market on Facebook to them? Are you going to send emails? Are you going to send mail out directly to their home? Are you going to go knock on doors? Are you going to have sales? Are you going to have like daily specials? Or what is going to be your unique proposition to separate you as a restaurant different from everybody else? Are there no Chinese restaurants? Are there no barbecue restaurants in your area? You got to do your research and see what are the challenges, what are the issues, the shortfalls. Uh, like ones like, hey, people want to teach their kids coding. So you see like code ninjas. There's people that do one-on-one software development training, or one of the big ones that I've seen is high school athletes, giving them personal trainers. That I see there's entire gyms dedicated to training high school athletes. And so it's just a matter of finding what it is that you want to do. Be a personal trainer, a coach, a consultant, what it is that you can do and provide value and solve people's problems. Because guess what? If you can solve people's problems, then the money will find you. How can you address these challenges, create opportunities for growth? Is there a market? Do you start local in your city? Maybe you expand to statewide, nationwide. And with technology now, when drop shipping that and with Amazon, like you can be distributing your product all over the globe in a short amount of time. Or right now that you can create a digital product and sell it in the next day online, and you could be selling it worldwide. And so there's a lot of different opportunities, but you need to understand what challenges can you address, and that allows you to create opportunities. And so the big thing is you got to figure out a problem that any and every business, once you figure out that, or once you stop solving people's problems, you're going to go out of business. Because guess what? If you're not solving problems, then people just move on to something else. Then your product or service is not that important. And so the sooner that you can realize what problems you're solving, and always be constantly understanding what the consumer is doing, the surveying, and understand what the problems that they're facing, and being able to evolve in order to meet their needs. And then understanding, hey, how can I solve these problems and go through and improve the lives experience of others? Because guess what? If you can save people time and money and heartache and pain, then guess what? They'll do business with you, regardless of your race, ethnicity, color, or whatever it is. That if you're solving problems, then you're going to be in a great position to be successful. And so this is a great question to kind of ask yourself about how can you solve problems that improves people's lives, and how can you differentiate yourself in delivering unique or meaningful solutions. So think about it. Like the iPhone came out and they pretty much separated themselves from everybody else and did it differently, um, with their process, with their phone, with their product. The same thing with before we had CDs, and you had the Walkman. And guess what? They revolutionized that space when they came out with, guess what? what was the thing called? Not the iPad, iTunes with everything that they had with the iPod. And so now think about how can you revolutionize this area or this product or this service that you have and differentiate yourself. In business school, we call it your oh, my mind went blank. Your competitive advantage. What is your competitive advantage that you have in the marketplace? Your skills that you bring to the table that your competition may not have, or they may not be able to do it as good as you can. Strategy three, and we're about 8:50. I think this is gonna be the last strategy. I think next week we'll pick back up in strategy four and go through the rest. But for us, the third strategy, building your brand. What does that look like? I really like this one. I really like this one. For those that don't know, the military CEO, that was the brand that we created. Shout out to my wife Melissa. She got the intellectual property, got that name trademark with the who's it with the trademark office. I forgot their initial, whatever agency it is, but she got a trademark. And so being able to build that personal brand that is important to help you stand out, especially in a competitive landscape today. And so that's one of the things that I leverage. Hey, I'm military and I'm a business owner. So like, hey, the military CEO, I like it. And it's kind of catchy, it rings, and it kind of represents who I am and as an individual and as a business owner as well too. And so being able to stand, what's your personal brand and what does that look like? And how does it differentiate you from others in the industry? It's like, hey, I really want to work with veterans and retirees. I understand them. I understand their struggles, their pain points. I understand, for as the CEO side, what it means to be a small business owner or entrepreneur. And it's like, okay, how about I work with veteran entrepreneurs, veteran real estate investors, and understanding how to help them, and then just ordinary everyday business people that are looking to be entrepreneurs. How can I differentiate myself? It's like, okay, how can I show people how they can create a business while they're working their W-2 job full time and build off of that? And that's what we're doing. And that's why we're sitting here having this presentation tonight and talking about that. What impact can a solid brand have on customer loyalty and trust? Because as you continue to build rapport with individuals and people with the brands, like, okay, when you think about REI Genius, you think I want everyone to think about quality education when it comes to real estate, entrepreneurship, and investing. Like, hey, that's what we help. We help people align themselves in these areas because guess what? Because they don't teach a lot of this in school. Very little of this is actually taught in school at the grade school level or at the collegiate level. For what it's worth. And so that's the thing that we're focused on being able to be that go-to platform, if you will, to be able to provide that education and help people level up in these areas of real estate, entrepreneurship, and then just overall investing. And that's the plan, and that's what we're building to over the next 5-10 years with the business plan that I put together and laid out. And so that's the goal. And then what elements should you consider when crafting your brand identity? Who's your avatar? Who do you want to work with? Who do you want to support in your industry? And just think about, the people, what do they expect from the brand that you put out there? And then how can you effectively communicate your brand message to your target audience? Like that's huge. That's huge. And I like for my coaching clients, like with multifamily, like it's no secret that I help veterans, retirees, and business professionals that's looking to increase their passive income through investing in apartment buildings. Boom. Just like that. That's what we're doing. And that's what we're doing. And so that's how you effectively communicate your message to a target audience. Like, okay, I'm a veteran and I want passive income. Then I probably should have a conversation with Johnny. Or I'm a retiree and I want to create passive income, or I'm a busy professional and I want to create passive income, then let me understand more about what it is that they're delivering, offering, and how they can help me accomplish that goal and add value in that area of my life. And then think through what are some of the strategies that you can implement to consistently reinforce your brand across various platforms and touch points. So, whether it's posting on social media, having live events, virtual events just like this, with helping add value to people, and being able to just continue to grow and be top of mind on how you can help individuals in these certain areas that you have expertise and help them take their lives to the next level, because that's what it's all about. And so I'm gonna pause right there, stop there for tonight. It was quite a few slides. I knew it was gonna be tough to kind of press through everything, but I do want to open up for questions. For anybody that has questions, to definitely to jump in. Just kind of these first three strategies that we talked about, and just kind of see where everybody is at, because I want this to be beneficial. Because I know there's some business owners out there right now that may have questions right now on something real time that they're dealing with in their business, and so this is a great time to kind of drop a comment in there, a question on, and kind of I'll share my feedback and give you my take on how potentially you might be able to resolve it, and if not, then maybe reach into my network and find somebody else who can help. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, we got a great presentation. Thank you, Rochelle. No, I definitely appreciate that. All right, see here. Let's see. What are some of the networking resources you recommend? No, that's a great question. One of them definitely is Meetup. I would say Meetup is a great one where you can find in your local area opportunities for people for whatever topic, whatever hobby or information you're looking for. You can find that there's a Meetup or group that is centered around that people that you can tap in with those people. So for me, like I always use Meetup for real estate investing is a great one. Um, Facebook groups is another great one where you can find like-minded individuals, people that are getting together, whether it's online, virtually, or in person. And then just really doing like a Google search. So if you do like a Google search for like multifamily real estate investing conference, in-person conference, and like you'll start getting some hits on like conferences that you could travel to, whether it's something in like in Las Vegas or Orlando, Atlanta, um, that you can find. So those are some kind of hacks, and then also like local meetups. There's a lot of local organizations that are centered around whatever it is that you're doing that can help you find that information that you're looking for, and that community that you're looking for. No, that's a great question. Getting consistent clients. Oh, I like this one. I like this one. Right. So it's really understanding where those clients are, where those decision makers are at for organization. So one, you have to be consistently marketing. You have to be consistently marketing. And so with your marketing, you need to understand who your avatar is, who is the individual or who is and I would say the optimal client that you want to work with. And so really you want to go through and understand like, okay, what does this person look like? Are they a business owner? Are you talking to like maybe the operation, the CEO of the company? Are you talking to, the receptionist? Like, understand who is the decision maker and what information do they need from you in order to make a decision? Like, hey, is it something that they only make their decision like at the beginning of the year when they're aligning their budget, or is it a certain time of the year for your services, or if it's something that they can buy any time of the year as far as a product that you have. But being able to one set your marketing plan, understanding how much budget are you going to allocate on a monthly basis, then understand what's the medium that you're going to reach these people on. Are you gonna call them on the phone, cold call? Are you gonna show up in person? Are you gonna send them a letter in the mail? Are you gonna advertise on Facebook or some other social media platform? Just now thinking through how you're gonna get in front of them, and what is your message that you're going to be sharing with them. And I think the biggest way is understanding what are their pain points, what are the struggles that they're having in their business, what are the challenges that you can solve for them, that you can present to them in your marketing, where you can speak to them, where when they think about, hey, I need to fix this problem, let me call Veronica or her company in order for me to be successful at resolving this problem. And so kind of thinking through those things and putting the marketing plan together. And if I can tell you anything when it comes to marketing, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Once you identify who it is and where they are at, you want to be consistently marketing, because most people don't make a decision at the first time they engage with your market. That you need to be consistent and show up consistently. No, that's a great question. Um, Yep. Someone asked, what did we say the E was for in REI? So it's for entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship. So really, it's centered around education when it comes to entrepreneurs. Kind of what we're talking about today. That we're kicking off in Q2 is really making that pivot where not only just when you think about real estate, but now what does entrepreneurship and how do we help entrepreneurs continue to grow their business, focusing on the business plans and just the different facets of being a business owner, whether it's the bookkeeping, estate planning, marketing, outreach for us, the what's the forward facing uh, portion of your business, whether it's your website, your social media profile, whatever those things may be. With just understanding, okay, what are the next steps that you need to do, and so understanding that is going to help you level up and understand the areas where you need to close down and understand how you're showing up when a client is a potential client is looking at you and what changes you need to make with your business, whether it's a real estate investing business or it could be any other business to go through and to go and to be able to take it to the next step with being able now to turn them from a potential client into a client and moving forward. All right, let's see. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate all you all tapping in for yep, Leslie and let's see, Dunn Belcher and no, I appreciate all everything. I'm glad you guys were able to find this valuable. And if you got questions, definitely, when somewhere in the comments, drop the questions, things that you may want me to talk about in the future next week as we go through and we'll wrap up uh, this presentation won't be next week. So we'll have my 5 day boot camp for entrepreneurs. We're gonna do that 5 day boot camp next week, and so we'll talk a little. We're gonna talk more about this, and we'll continue this presentation probably the following week because the boot camp is next week, the 8th through the 12th. So make sure you guys sign up with the Entrepreneur Master. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be diving in each night, talk about everything from the mindset goal setting, strategies with multifamily investing on how you can build wealth through that. We're taking action. We're going to dive in on the mastermind groups, networking. What does that look like? And so much more. So if you're looking at that, I encourage you guys, it's free to make sure you sign up next week. Be every evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, and it's going to be really good. I'm excited about it and the impact that we're going to have with everybody with that. We're helping people level up right now and increase their income in 2024 because it is extremely serious that we all look at increasing our income as we continue to grow. So, Facebook user says, I put together a small book about divorce and selling your house. Step out the box for me. But wow, no, that's awesome. That is awesome because I'll tell you, the riches are in the niches. Like if you can help people and you can be the go-to source for individuals that's in divorce that own a house and helping them navigate that challenging time in their life, like that's a complete win-win. One of the other like situations that's really challenging, like probate or pre-foreclosure. Like if you can focus in certain areas where you can help people, it's like now it's like okay, you got the book. Like now, how do you get that out into the right people's hands? Whereas that there's lists out there you can buy of people that just went through divorce. Like you can find those lists. So if you're in a major city, like, hey, I can find everybody that's filed for divorce because that's public information at the courthouse. Everybody that's filed for divorce, you can get their information, their address, and send them a copy of your book. And now you're talking and you're helping people and just figuring out what's that next step on what you want them to take from the book. And you can just kind of figure that out and take it to the next level. But no, that's phenomenal. Okay. And Veronica said, "Hey, how do you get more clients?" And yeah, so I think that's one with it's for most businesses. I would say it's a numbers game, but it really depends on your marketing and getting in front of as many eyes as possible, as many decision makers as possible, and going from there. But that's the way. It's like you got to understand what it is that they need. You need to package your business and your presentation and your marketing together in a way where they can understand that you have a solution that helps them with their problem. And then from there, it's a matter of having a conversation, figuring out if you want them to just go to your website, fill out information, you want them to send you an email, you want them to call you, or what's the best way for them to get in contact with you. Where now you can have the conversation to better understand their pain points and how you can provide a solution to answer answer the mail when it comes to solving their problems. But I think the big thing is we get more clients is you got to have more conversation. You got to have more touch points with potential clients. And because I guarantee if you talk to 100 potential clients a week, then and you can close 10%, that's 10 new clients a week. And maybe depending on your business, that may you may not even need that many. It's like, okay, if you can add one new client a month, depending on what your price point is for like the your services, or like if you're getting like maybe contracts or whatever it is for a large amount for work. It's like, okay, you may just need one new client a year, just depending on what your service, your price point, and what your business does. But you need to just understand what that looks like. What's the profit margin that's tied to one client? Then okay, well, if we make $10,000 per client per year, then okay, how many clients do we need to get to 300,000, 400,000? Now it just becomes a math problem. If you need 40 new clients this year, divide that by 12, so you need to be adding almost four clients a month. And now it's like, okay, how do you go and get in front of those leads? Like maybe if I can close 10% of the people I talk to, I need to talk to 40 people and close 10% of them to get my four clients for the year. Oh, for the month, excuse me. And go from there. So it's really just digging into how many the touch points with how many people you need to touch on a monthly basis. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Those are some great questions. I appreciate everybody for tapping in tonight. And don't forget, we got the boot camp going on live next week, the 8th through the 12th. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking about, for those that care about the Alabama real estate market, we're going to be talking about the February data. Um, March hasn't came out yet, exactly that I've seen for Redfin. It may be, I'll double check. But we'll talk about the February data and maybe March if it's already up for Redfin for the housing market there across the Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham, and Huntsville metro areas. And yeah, talk a little bit about real estate and go into that. So I will see you guys tomorrow night there. And if not, I'll see you at the boot camp. No excuses. If you're ready to take action as an entrepreneur, I'll see you at the boot camp. Shoot me a DM, a message to get signed up. I'll shoot you the link. I should have had it streaming across the bottom, but I'll do better tomorrow. You guys be blessed. I appreciate you. Take action and write down your goals, and let's go. I'm excited for 2024.